But honestly, it's not about the money. It's about respecting someone's space, especially when they're being polite about it. Instead, TJ brushed it off, leaving people wondering why he couldn't just follow the simple request. This whole thing feels like it could have been avoided with a little respect and maturity. What do you think? Crazy as it sounds, this random moment has become one of the hottest topics in hip-hop right now. Wild, right? Even after being reminded several times, TJ kept smoking. Max eventually had to stop everything to make it crystal clear. If they wanted to smoke, they could do it in the backyard. First off, TJ said he had no idea who PlaqueboyMax was before showing up. He admitted he had never even heard of him. That's not too surprising since Max is only now starting to get some attention, but still, it kind of came across as dismissive. Here's the thing, Lil Tjay is someone who usually gets attention for his music, not for stuff like this. Sure, he's had his moments, like his beef with 6ix9ine, but one of the biggest things that happened to him in recent years was surviving a terrifying shooting in June 2022. He was shot 7 times and was in critical condition for a while. Thankfully, he pulled through. I remember feeling relieved when he made it because I've been a fan of his music since he came onto the scene. I even made a video back then called Pray for Lil Tjay. Here's the thing, PlaqueboyMax streams for a living. That's his job. He rents out Airbnbs to host his streams. And if he gets banned from the Airbnb platform because of this, how's he supposed to keep his money flowing? This is his livelihood we're talking about, and TJ doesn't seem to get that. Instead of seeing the bigger picture, CJ was out here flexing his cash and saying, I'll pay the fine. But that's not the point. Max wasn't asking for money, he was just asking for some respect in his rented space. The fact that CJ thinks throwing money at the problem solves it shows he's not taking this seriously at all. Feels like TJ is feeling the pressure from all the backlash, and that's probably clouding his judgment. If he really thinks Max was being unreasonable, he's way off, because anyone watching the situation could see Max handled it calmly and respectfully. Let's be real, this isn't the response anyone was hoping for. Instead of owning up to what happened, TJ basically brushed it off like it was nothing. He even tried to downplay it by saying the smoke felt like fake smoke. Let's talk about this, because honestly, this whole situation with Lil Tjay isn't even about the fine he's bragging about paying. It's about something way more important: respect. Lil Tjay finally spoke up about the situation during a couple of streams last night, one on his own and another with YouTuber and rapper DDG. And let's just say his response got people talking even more. And to be completely honest, Lil Tjay kept defending himself, but let's be real, his points don't really add up. He said something like, it already smelled like weed when I got there, so why are you telling me to stop smoking? I'm a hood dude, bro. Regardless of the Lil Tjay image I'm trying to balance, I'm still me. Lil Tjay has finally broken his silence on the situation that's been blowing up online. If you missed it, here's the story everyone's talking about, involving streamer PlaqueboyMax and rappers Lil Tjay and 5Foreign. Now here's the thing, PlaqueboyMax wasn't rude or disrespectful about asking TJ to stop. He literally asked him politely, multiple times, to not smoke inside because the smoke alarm might go off. That's not a crazy request at all. Max wasn't trying to be extra, he was just trying to avoid a problem. So PlaqueboyMax was hosting a stream at an Airbnb he rented for the event. Apparently, Lil Tjay and 5Foreign weren't even invited. They just showed up unannounced. Things got awkward when Lil Tjay lit a joint inside the place. Max quickly told him, hey, you can't do that in here. The smoke alarms might go off. Stories like this hit hard because, let's face it, we've all had to deal with people being disrespectful. Now, Lil Tjay has finally responded to the whole situation, and honestly, I don't know what I was expecting, but this might be one of his biggest PR missteps yet. That's why this story is so confusing to me. TJ is young, talented, and has already achieved so much in his career, but clearly this situation shows he still has some growing up to do. It's just disappointing to see someone with so much potential caught up in unnecessary drama. Then, before leaving, Fivio, who's turning 35 this March, blew smoke right in Max's face. Intentional or not, it came off as super disrespectful. After that, the two rappers left, and the whole incident left a lot of people talking. Then TJ explained that he smokes everywhere he goes. Sure, that might be his thing, but when you're at someone else's place and they politely ask you not to smoke indoors, shouldn't you respect their rules? That's just common courtesy. Then TJ said, I'm TJ, bro. I'm from New York. How do you think I'm coming? My bad for pulling up and messing up your crib, but it's not the end of the world. I'm not about to say sorry. It is what it is. You'll be alright, bro. I told you I'd pay for it. So what? It's not that deep. TJ also flexed some cash during the stream and joked about paying for any fines if the smoke alarm went off. He basically said, I pulled up for 5EO, not Max. No disrespect, but I didn't even know who you were, bro. I smoke wherever I go and I'll pay whatever it costs if it's a problem. What made it even funnier was TJ saying the place already smelled like weed when he got there. Let's be real. If you smoke everywhere you go, it's probably you bringing the smell. Let's not act surprised. But here's where TJ really messed up. He brought up being from the hood, saying something like, you can't tell me what to do. I'm a hood guy. Come on now. Being from the hood doesn't give you a free pass to ignore basic respect. Whether you're from the hood or anywhere else, when you're in someone else's space and they ask you to follow a simple rule, you respect it. Period. Lil Tjay's response just keeps getting crazier. He straight up said, if I wasn't on camera, I would have slapped PlaqueboyMax. Like, really? This all started because Max politely asked him to stop smoking inside. But instead of respecting that, TJ went off. He even went into this whole rant saying, you think I've been to jail? You think I'm soft? I've been locked up since I was 13, so who do you think you're talking to? That's a lot to say over a simple request, don't you think? TJ also added, what kind of reaction do you expect from me? You think you're my mom? I would have slapped you if I wasn't on camera. Wait, what? Over something so small? Max wasn't even being rude. He was just trying to keep things chill and avoid triggering the smoke alarm. But instead of keeping it calm, TJ made it seem like Max was out of line just for asking him to follow the rules. He even said he was mind blown that Max would ask him to stop smoking. And that's where it gets even more wild. TJ is threatening to get violent over something so simple. Honestly, I've got to say I'm a little disappointed in Lil Tjay after hearing his side of things. He's 23, which is young, but not too young to understand where he went wrong in this situation. Now, let's talk about this hood mentality he keeps bringing up. You heard what he said, right? He mentioned being a felon at 13, and I'm not really sure why that even came up. Then he said, I can't let anybody talk to me like that, and that right there shows how some people, especially those with that street or hood mindset, might take a simple, polite request as disrespect. There's a reason for that. If you grow up in a rough environment where survival is the main focus, you end up building defense mechanisms to protect yourself. Those mechanisms make you hyper-avert, and you start seeing threats where there may not actually be one. So when someone like PlaqueboyMax asks you to stop smoking inside, it can feel like an attack, even though it's just a simple request to avoid trouble. But here's the thing, not every situation is a threat. Not every request is someone trying to disrespect you. Sometimes it's just about showing respect for other people's space. And I really think TJ could have handled it better. The whole tough guy attitude doesn't help here. It just makes the situation worse. So what do you think? Does the hood mentality play a part in how TJ reacted, or is it just an excuse? Let me know what you think in the comments. When we talk about masculinity in hip-hop, a lot of it's built around avoiding vulnerability and not wanting to be seen as weak or a victim. I totally get where Lil Tjay is coming from. But here's the thing. At a certain point, especially when you're a grown man, you can't keep using your past to justify disrespecting others. Yeah, being a felon at 13 might have shaped who he is today, but that has nothing to do with the person he is now. TJ is a successful rapper with money and opportunities. That's his reality now, not his past struggles. One of my longtime viewers, shout out to Y, made a great point when she said, masculinity and fragility are often confused in hip-hop. I couldn't agree more. We're in 2025 now, and that street mentality needs to go. There are so many opportunities out here, so why stick to a mindset that holds you back when you could be using your platform to inspire and make a difference? A big reason a lot of young black men fall into this mindset is because of the absence of father figures in their lives. Without positive role models, it's easy to fall into these ways of thinking that keep them stuck. But that doesn't have to be the case. It's all about breaking the cycle and moving forward. And so a lot of young black men, and honestly people in general, end up looking up to neighborhood drug dealers or rappers who act like they've lived that life. They think that's what it means to be a man, being loud, tough, and in control. I can relate to this because I've seen it. But honestly, this mindset isn't just limited to one group. We see it all over social media too. A lot of these so-called alpha males get all the attention because they're loud, aggressive, and always trying to act like they're in charge. But let's be real. Most of the time, these guys are just trying to cover up something deep down. I've been through my fair share of ups and downs, and the truth is, after you make a certain amount of money, it doesn't really change your life as much as people think. So here's the real question. Are you proud of who you are? When you look in the mirror, do you feel good about the person staring back at you? Or do you feel like you're just trying to prove something that doesn't really matter in the end? If you're pretending pretending to be someone you're not, you're just losing yourself in the process. I really want to know your thoughts on this. Do you think the alpha male mindset is harmful, or do you think it's just part of the culture? Drop your comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. It's crazy how some people try to prove themselves by bragging about things like prison time or flashy jewelry. Just because you've been to prison or have expensive chains doesn't automatically make you a man. The truth is, a person who's constantly screaming and shouting to prove they're tough is usually the least secure person in the room. That's just real talk. That type of mindset usually leads to two places, the graveyard or prison, where your life is controlled by someone else. Just look at all the examples out there. This mindset doesn't end well. It's wild how many young people still follow this destructive path. And this is part of why we have groups like INS, Young Ninjas. It's all about that reckless attitude and lack of respect for others. It's honestly sad to see. As for Lil Tjay, here's the thing, he's an independent artist now. If he doesn't start taking these relationships seriously, especially with streamers who are becoming just as influential as rappers, he might get left behind. So, what do you think? Is this tough guy mentality holding too many young people back? Or is it just part of the culture? Drop your thoughts below. I'd love to hear what you think. You've probably seen celebrities like Usain Bolt living it up, right? If you knew how much money he's making from his deals, you'd be surprised. The guy is definitely living the good life. And at the end of the day, people just want to support someone who feels real and decent. I don't think Lil Tjay fully gets the impact of what happened here, but honestly, this could be a lesson for all rappers. The thing is, when you build an image around being tough all the time, it becomes a lot of work to keep that up. It's exhausting. Imagine having to walk around all day pretending to be hard. If you're still in the streets, okay, I get it. But once you've made it out, isn't that the point? You worked hard to get away from that tough life and just live your best life. I really hope Lil Tjay takes this moment to reflect and learn from it. He's got so much potential, but situations like this can leave a mark if you're not careful. So what do you all think? Is the tough guy image holding rappers back from really enjoying life? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear what you think. Lil Tjay's actions in this situation could really hurt his reputation. When stuff like this happens in the public eye, it can damage relationships and close doors that could have helped him grow and succeed. The people who might have been ready to offer him opportunities could now think twice because of how he treated others. It's a real consequence that a lot of rappers don't think about. Negative press only makes things worse, and rebuilding trust gets a lot harder. There are more people paying attention to you than you might realize, trust me. If you've made it this far, you clearly liked the video, so how about dropping a like? And if you're new here, I'm Blackie, nice to meet you. Welcome to the family, there's always room for more. What do you guys think about Lil Tjay's response to PlaqueboyMax? I'm really curious to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below and let's talk about it. I'll catch you in the comments, but most importantly, I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.